Are we live? Let me. I guess. I mean, I assume we are because it's a. I just gotta. I like to have my little stream open on my tab.
Wait, are we live?
We should be.
Oh fuck. Okay.
Welcome to Ace Attorney in real time.
I'm sitting on a pillow, so I'm taller.
Yes, I am little. When we play all the Ace Attorney cases on the days that they actually happened, except not year until we get to Apollo Justice. Which I think is gonna be really fun. I was really excited.
This will be the first trial of Farewell My Turnabout.
Yay!
Yay! Eaglet's not in cosplay
I'm
today.
not in cosplay today because I didn't care to be.
Yes.
I'm just dressed in my nice little, I don't know, my professional outfit. This is what professionals wear.
Yes, it is.
I wish that I was a professional
At what?
cutting up fish. my dream job. Because I don't really want to do art as like a job because I don't like that. So if I was going to do something as actually a job, I would do cutting up fish. I want to cut up a big fish like Masaru.
Okay, is it alright if this is in frame?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna move it closer a minute.
I'm just gonna audio's on. Yeah. I just want to make sure nothing went horribly wrong.
Yes, of course.
So yeah, I guess we're gonna be playing a game, so we should just get that open and started, because I did not open the game yet. Oh, and the game goes over here, and camera work. Alright.
That My Little Pony song kind of, like, I hope that I am able to be in the right headspace.
Because we were listening to my playlist, and I've got some songs from My Little Pony Equestria Girls Rainbow Rocks, which I was really into when I was, like, little.
It's a good movie.
But I don't think Mari's listened to those songs as recently as I have, so she's all nostalgic up. I remember when we listened to This Day Aria.
Oh god.
For like after not having heard it for a long time, and I was just like, oh my god.
That's not from those, it's from the
No.
wedding episodes.
But it's still very nostalgic.
Yes.
We loved that song.
God.
I learned that song real fast, and I know it again now because I relearned it after. It's a thing where, like, I know a song, and then I forget it, and then I listen to it, like, once, and I remember, like, all of it.
Out of all of those movies, and we've only really seen the first two. We watched the third one, maybe even a couple of times. Oh, and the fourth one. I forget. Yeah. We've seen those, but we don't know them.
I like that song, We Will Stand Forever.
Oh, yeah. That's a pretty good song.
That was a good song.
But the best movie is the second one, the Rainbow Rocks one. That's the best movie out of all of those, in my opinion.
Probably. I haven't seen it in a long time. It was my favorite.
Oh, well, yeah. That's why I think it's the best.
Remember, we were the same age, so we would have both, but yeah, when me and my girlfriend were in, like, elementary school, which is where we met, where we would, like, roleplay, that I would pretend that, like, I was one of the we would both kind of pretend that we were, like some of the sirens, specifically for Rainbow Rocks, because we were villain energy.
You've always been into villains.
I've always been into villains, and they were cool, and they had the best songs. Both of the songs on my playlist from that movie are their songs.
I mean...
But I remember they were the, like, main siren, and I remember being like, I'm the one that's, like, the kind of comedy relief, like...
Oh, yeah. She's got that blue hair, right?
Yeah. It was like she's kind of a loser, the loser of the sirens, and I remember I was thinking about this, how in character as her, I was like, yeah, I'm the one that sucks. Like, but that's not what she would say. Like, but like that was the reason I chose her though.
Okay. Yeah.
It's because I was like, I want to be like one of them, but I don't want to I don't want people to think I'm like, I want to be too like, I'm not like one of the cool ones.
Okay.
I'm the lame one.
Sure.
But that's something I specifically remember, and I thought it was funny.
Yeah. I guess if you haven't seen those movies and you would be interested, just the third one was interesting, I think. I would
watch
say
whatever ones you feel like watching. I don't know.
I would recommend, if you're interested, I would recommend the first and second one. You can't appreciate the second one enough without having seen the first one. The third one, if you like those, watch the third one also. And the fourth one is also, if you like them all, watch that one also, I guess.
And you should
Did they make
probably have seen My Little Pony.
Oh, well, yeah.
It's the like Friendship is Magic, the TV show.
I guess that
first.
for me that was included in the if you would be interested.
Yeah, if you've seen FIM but you haven't seen Equestria Girls.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, so that's a fun little back from my baby childhood. Oh my god, and also a while back I was rewatching, I was really into Friendship is Witchcraft.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I was rewatching some of that, and there's a lot of jokes in that I just didn't get because I was a baby. So I think it is more enjoyable as an older person than as I was younger. Yeah. There's definitely, specifically the slur that they didn't know was a slur when they made.
Other than that, I think that holds up pretty well.
It holds up pretty well. For me.
And, yeah, it's good.
I like it.
Okay, let's focus.
Yes.
This shit happens soon.
Yes,
so.
okay. Sorry. Get your head in the game, Wildcats. I haven't seen that movie.
Oh, that's the
It
High
was
School
before
Musical?
my time, High School Musical.
Okay, yeah.
Adrian did it?
That's what it looks like.
Dude, no way. That woman couldn't do anything like that.
In court today, there will be a mountain of evidence that will implicate you.
A mountain of evidence?
I'm certain there is someone out there trying very hard to pin this whole thing on you.
Please, Mr. Lawyer. Dude, like I said yesterday, I'm refreshing like a spring breeze, alright? I can't let any sort of scandal ruin that. Maybe
exactly.
I should stop pulling my hair out of my face.
I understand. Mia?
Well, it's almost time. Mia.
Mia.
We must get a complete acquittal today.
I know. But I can't focus on Maya's situation right now. Or Pearl's either. No matter what, I have to focus on winning this case by the end of the day.
Indeed. Well, let's get going.
Oh. It's him. This is right.
Good morning. This is it, Mr. Attorney. The day of the trial.
Maya, she's unharmed, right?
Well, when I checked on her earlier this morning, she seemed a bit, how shall we say, tired. Eepy. Don't worry. People don't die that easily. I would know I'm an assassin. Besides, what you really should be concentrating on is winning today's trial. For my sake, as well as yours, you must win today's trial.
You said that already.
Which is why I sent you a little present this morning.
Present? What in the world would you want to give me?
You'll figure it out once the trial starts, and even if you don't like my gift, I expect you to graciously accept it and win the day's contest, if you please.
Wait. The kidnapper sent me a present?
Mr. Lawyer dude, who is that?
No, my mom. Dude, it has nothing to do with you, so forget you heard anything.
Dude, did your nose just get longer? Cause you're a looking liar, man.
Alright, you know what? It's time for court. Go into court.
Alright. Where's the prosecutor? Court is now in session for the trial of Matt on Guard. It's been a while since I did this judge voice.
Yes.
We've been playing Spirit of Justice. Are the prosecution and defense ready?
The defense is ready, Your Honor. Well, that judge is in the game.
Oh! We haven't played that far yet.
Yes.
I say, Mr. Wright, what happened to Miss Von Karma?
I don't know, Your Honor. Why are you getting mad at me? Your Honor!
Please be quiet, bailiff. Court is in session. If you must tell me something, please keep it brief. Now then, what is it? Prosecutor Von Karma is...
Are you crying?
I am so sweet. This morning, Miss Von Karma was shot by an unknown gunman. What?
Shot?
Somehow, I think this is the present that man was talking about.
Present?
Miss Von Karma is one of the top prosecutors in the country at the moment. If she were to disappear, it would be to your advantage.
This is totally insane. Miss Von Karma, is she alright?
I don't have that answer. She's alive and in stable condition.
Do you want to move this slightly up so we're not looking down all the time? The game, I mean. The game window.
That's good. Whew. Yeah!
I thought he'd show up.
Miles Edgeworth. Your Honor, due to the circumstances, Miss Franziska Von Karma cannot appear in court today. I, Miles Edgeworth, will be taking her place. The prosecution is ready, naturally. Miss Von Karma was shot in her right shoulder and is currently undergoing surgery. Luckily, I have looked this case over and am familiar with the details. The prosecution seeks to prove the guilt of Mr. Matt on Guard. The court acknowledges the prosecution. Right. I finally found the answer I was struggling for on my long journey this past year. By the time this case comes to an end, you too will know the answer. Now then, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Please bring Detective Gumshoe to the witness stand. Witness, your name and occupation.
My name's Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective down at the precinct. For now. I didn't get fired.
For now?
After this trial's over, I'm supposed to turn in my badge, sir. I did get fired. Detective Gumshoe.
The prosecution has no need for a depressed witness.
Oh, Jesus.
Lift your head up and face forward like a proud officer, Detective Dick Gumshoe.
Yes, sir.
Now, let's have your testimony.
I'm just glad to have you back, sir.
If we want to explore the various facets of this case, we must start with that. Get ready, Phoenix. This is going to be one very rough fight.
Yeah, it would have to be with Edgeworth as my opponent. The answer he was struggling for. Interesting. Show me this answer you finally found, Edgeworth. I thought I heard someone run into the door. The bare facts of the case. This murder happened after the Hero of Heroes Award ceremony, sir. The victim, Juan Garrido, was found dead in his hotel room. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir. At first, we thought it was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. That's your testimony? Why did you talk about the irrelevant guitar case for half of it?
I just remember the student handbook looks have nothing to do with this case, so don't worry about that.
But put it in your evidence, Makoto.
After the award ceremony ended, the victim was alone in his room.
Yes, sir. Both the victim and the defendant went alone to their rooms, sir.
I see. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
I'm tired. I'm kidding. Oh, no! This murder happened at the Hero of Heroes Award ceremony.
His son Dennis is after looking into the cause of death.
Well, let's press that.
The cause of death is a murder.
The cause of death. Wasn't that murder? It was because he was stabbed in the chest. Only a careless amateur would believe something so brainless as that, pal.
I mean, look, the knife's only in a tiny little bit.
Take a good hard look at the crime photo. Now, a real pro's attention will be drawn here, to this bandana.
Banana.
His bandana, sir. That's the thing wrapped tightly around his neck, sir.
Ah, yes, I see. His banana-scented bandana.
The banana was the first case. What about the knife? It seems to have been stuck in the victim's chest on purpose after his death.
We have a crafty murderer on our hands here. He stabbed him with a butter knife, and we all bought it.
At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we later found that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder.
What do you mean?
What convinced you it had nothing to do with the case? It was the case. What? The guitar wasn't at the Gatewater Hotel that night.
Well then, where was it?
The bright red guitar was eventually found at the TV studio. The victim, Juan Carita, had apparently only taken the case with him, sir.
So you mean he forgot to put the guitar inside the case?
Yes, sir. Even when he was on stage for the ceremony, he didn't have his guitar. So that guitar case was empty even before he got to the hotel. Yeah, that's right. So it really had nothing to do with the case after all.
Our first order of business should be to gather more info from his testimony.
I've been doing that, but there might be a trap set up for us somewhere.
Maybe.
Edgeworth always puts traps in
However,
his
setting off
testimonies.
traps is part of a lawyer's job too.
Oh, but it hurts.
Of course, we're supposed to escape from them too, wouldn't you say? So does that mean just press everything?
I think so.
Happened after the award ceremony.
Would you please give us a brief timeline? Okay, pal, the ceremony started at 6 p.m. It ended around 8 p.m. Then there was a short break, and a special post-ceremony show was supposed to start in the lobby 30 minutes later. And that's when the victim's body was found, correct?
Which is to say, the murder occurred during that 30-minute break period.
Please continue with the testimony, detective.
The victim, Juan Carita, was found dead in his hotel room.
Oops.
Yeah, we should press that. The person who discovered the victim's body was Adrian Andrews, correct? Yeah.
Who is this Adrian Andrews you're talking about?
She's the defendant, Madame Guard's manager. She's the defendant, Madame Guard. She's a really pretty lady, sir.
Ah,
Hi.
so she's a pretty lady. I wonder if she will grace us with her presence.
What the fuck, Josh? Handcuff shoe. When the post-ceremony show was about to start, she went to get Mr. On Guard. After visiting his room, she next went to the victim's room to get him for the show, sir.
I see. And that's when she found the victim's body.
After looking into the cause of death, he was definitely murdered. Well, there was some,
We pressed the one after that.
Why did you think that? Because it was empty, pal. The Gemma Ninja doesn't go anywhere without his bright red guitar. And we couldn't find it anywhere at the scene of the crime.
Oh, then how about this theory? A fan really wanted the guitar and did the crime to get it. How's that?
We thought of that too, but I already told you that the only fingerprints on the guitar case were the victims, and it wasn't only the victims, huh?
I see. Ah, so much for my theory then.
Okay, now we have this. We have this.
I believe that is enough. First, the victim was choked to death with his bandana. Then, after the victim was dead, the killer deliberately stabbed him with a knife. Which brings me to my next point. Why then did the police arrest Matt on guard? Because there was reason enough to suspect him.
Here it comes. Looks like Edgeworth's back in full swing.
Very well. Detective Gumshoe, please testify about this matter.
Yes, sir. Guard and Juan Carrita were huge rivals with each other. They each thought the other guy was in his way. That's motive enough in my book. As for evidence, there's the Jammin' Ninja's button. It was ripped off the ninja costume and was found in Mr. Angard's hakama. The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife.
Look at this! I thought that the photo was funny, but I was remembering actually that this picture of the knife with the little tiny bit of blood.
The defendant bought the knife for the crime, which means it was premeditated murder.
So the defendant's fingerprints were found on the knife used in the stabbing.
It was sort of sticky on the handle, so the fingerprints came out pretty clearly, sir.
Knife added to the court record. In the grip, Gatewater is engraved.
I almost feel like that would make it harder, right? Because the powder would stick to it. But I don't know enough to...
I don't know.
And there's this button.
That was found in the defendant's clothes, was it? And this button is also... And is this button also covered in blood?
Yes, and we know that the blood on it is the victim's blood, sir. What?
How did that much blood get on the button and so little of it get on the knife?
That's such a good question. I need water, though, for Gumshoe.
Okay. I have water. I got it before we started. It's a really little amount, though. Here I go. You can get me some, too. No one is here. As always. How do you like get into voice acting? I want to do voice acting, like, so bad. This is my thing with, like, all of my acting stuff is, like, I think I'm pretty good, but, like, am I actually? Or is it just, like, I think that? I mean, some of my deliveries are definitely not in full sincerity, but I feel like, specifically, because a lot of the time in these Exeter ones, I'm not doing, like, very specific, I'm not trying that hard. But I feel like, I've been doing Edgeworth very deliberately. I've been actually trying with Edgeworth, and so I've been thinking about, like, am I actually doing a good job as Edgeworth? I think so. I think I'm good. So if you have a voice acting for me to do, I don't know, let me know. You're not seeing this. Yeah, open like a Fiverr or something.
I was just thinking we should check to see if there's an investigation after this.
Okay. I mean, I assume that there is. Farewell, my turnabout. Walkthrough, I guess? Because that'll show...
Sure. Well, it might not.
Yeah, see, so we got investigation, trial, Trial, investigation, investigation, trial, trial.
Well, this does not reflect the days.
I guess, but usually investigation is after the trial.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, there's...
This is different parts of the trial.
You're right.
They're separated.
I know that investigation is but is it going to happen today?
Well, that's what I meant. It's after the trial and the day.
This does not tell you what you think it does, I think.
Okay, but there is an investigation after this, and that means it's probably today.
There's always an investigation after it. That doesn't mean it's today.
It does.
It doesn't, but...
Because trial is at the beginning of the day. You wake up, you do the trial, and then you do investigation.
I know that's usually how it goes.
Okay.
But I want to make sure.
All of this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it?
Yes, it most certainly does, Your Honor. Ready to give in yet, right? I'll find the hole in your argument somehow. You can press as hard as you'd like. Just hurry up with their usual pointless questions. Grrr.
Sorry.
This is gonna take too long to do.
No?
This is 22nd.
Yes.
Recess.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. I click the button.
Oh, well, I usually read the...
I know. Madame Guard and Juan Guerrero were huge rivals with each other.
Yes,
They each thought... Oh yeah, we already read all of this.
Jam a ninja button. It was ripped off the ninja costume. So, he bought the knife for the crime. It's clearly not true. It's the knife from the hotel.
Wait a second. Oh, what? So that the basis of your argument that this was a premeditated murder is simply that my client bought a knife beforehand? That's right, Belle. The defendant did not buy this knife.
Why would you even claim that?
I know.
It's a butter knife from the hotel.
It's not a butter knife.
Not a butter
They
knife.
used it to get steak.
It looks like a butter knife.
I agree that it looks... Then take a good look at the handle of this knife and you'll
Is it
see
made
what
of
I'm
gold?
talking about. Yes. Oh?
It has a Gatewater seal set into the handle.
Gatewater? I think I've heard that name somewhere before. That's the name of the hotel. The Gatewater Hotel. Uh-oh.
Fucking
The murder
loser.
knife was actually property of the hotel. Which means this murder was not premeditated. Or at least the stabbing part wasn't.
Yes, that's very true. This is a very big... What is it, Mr. Edgeworth?
I'm sorry, but the defense is simply too careless.
What?
I think whether the crime was premeditated or not has already been determined.
How so?
I admit this knife is hotel property. There is no one currently on the police force that is dumb enough not to realize this.
But I did. Oh.
The question is, where did this knife come from?
The hotel, Edgeworth.
Why, that's obvious. It came from the victim,
Oh,
Mr. Carita's
specifically.
room.
Sorry, Your Honor, but that is incorrect. The victim ate a last meal before he was murdered. With that being the case, I would like to draw the court's attention to what is on top of the table.
There is a knife and a fork on the table. Then... Oh, where in the world did this knife come from?
If it pleases the court, I would like for us to recall the room of the defendant, Mr. Matt on guard. especially what was on top of his table. There is something missing. Perhaps it is a single knife?
Is it?
Maybe
it is.
Maybe it is. We investigated the leftover dishes for fingerprints, and while we were investigating, we came to the conclusion that Mr. Matangard's knife was missing. Mr. Angard had gone to the victim's room with the knife that he had used during dinner. Why would he carry a knife on his visit? To kill, of course. And with that, I believe the prosecution has proven this was a premeditated murder.
Amazing, Mr. Edgeworth. Absolutely brilliant. A brilliantly clear deduction.
It seems like Edgeworth had this planned from the very beginning.
This must be one of those traps. And I just walked headlong into it.
A murder weapon with fingerprints and a button from the victim's costume. There is quite a sizable amount of evidence here.
I can safely say that any further deliberation is a waste of your Honor's time. Although, I wouldn't mind if the defense were able to present evidence not yet shown to the court.
Evidence not yet shown?
He means evidence the court hasn't seen yet. In other words, new evidence.
What does the defense have to say about this, Mr. Wright?
Why are you asking me for evidence?
I'm not asking, I just,
evidence.
I wouldn't mind. You're allowed, I give you permission. Phoenix.
What?
The judge is favoring the prosecution right now. If we answer with something wrong here...
My gavel of his will be ringing out to the sound of our defeat.
Mr. Wright, do you have something important and necessary to present to this court?
I fell.
I
don't think that's it.
Yeah.
So what's everything that we have?
Yeah. All this stuff.
Oh, yeah, okay, and it's something that he hasn't presented yet. So I assume the autopsy report is not it, but I would...
Like, why would he stab him with a knife after the fact?
But actually,
like,
Gumshoe gave us that, so I don't think it is that.
That's a thing that we could talk about, but it's not. I don't know. Because this is not relevant. None of this is relevant. This is relevant, but it's not.
What's the picture?
The picture is the picture of the crime scene.
Well, look at the picture of the crime scene.
The picture of the... I guess... Well, this has been presented to the court, though. It's not new evidence.
It's true, that's true.
I don't think... I don't... Well, but we have to have new evidence, or he's gonna be like, I guess we're done here.
Is it the guitar case?
Some water on top of the lid. Well, that's just from the struggle.
Yeah. Is it the juice? I don't think it... Maybe we don't have it. Try not having anything.
I don't have any!
This has to be another trap. Better if I don't say anything than risk throwing out a bad piece of evidence.
It looks like the defense isn't saying a peep on this one.
Which means this court is adjourned.
No, you're not the
Phoenix,
judge.
we will lose this case if you give up
What?
here.
I'm not giving up.
So you had better show the judge something, quick.
Okay, slow down. We all know I have a tendency to be wrong. There's one, actually. One piece of evidence that catches my attention. Something that this court has yet to see.
Mr. Wright.
Maybe it is the juice?
Is it the juice?
I will say this one more time. I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all.
Wait. That's the... I'm giving you one chance, only one. Oh, okay. No sign has been drank, but...
Well, so that was pointed out, Francisca and Pearl both, and,
Yeah.
It is a weird thing, and we haven't seen it yet. I think that's gotta be it.
I thought it said that it, like, had no fingerprints on it.
Oh.
And so I was like, well, but there's fingerprints on the knife, so if that was his, then it... So someone else must have been at the crime scene after, but I don't...
Well, we know that people were
someone
at
wearing
the
gloves.
You keep going.
Because, whoever, whatever. What the judge is saying, right, is don't try pulling one of your usual bluffs here.
If I mess this up, it's curtains for all of us.
You may now present.
Let me,
What is this important?
Is it the wine glass?
Yes.
This is a wine glass, is it not?
Please look at the photo of the crime scene one more time. The scene is a mess because of the victim's struggle against his assailant. The vase was broken, his makeup is all over the floor. These were all things that were at one point sitting on top of the dresser.
I feel like, I guess, whatever.
It is weird.
It's weird, but it also could just be that after he killed Juan, he just was like, I'm gonna take a drink.
Well, yes, I see your point.
However, this glass that is sitting on top of the dresser is mysteriously untouched. The only thing that had not fallen over along with everything else is this wine glass. This piece of evidence is more than strange enough to warrant further consideration. Wait, Eaglet.
Yeah.
Are we not on the game?
Oh my god, I forgot to switch back to the game.
Oh, that's... How long has that been?
Since you went to get water.
Okay. Okay, that's not the worst. Sorry. What do you all have to say? What do you all say?
Well, yes, it is a little peculiar.
Yes, isn't it? I thought it was.
You can stop looking at me with those puppy dog eyes of yours now, Mr. Edgeworth.
What is it, Your Honor?
Your opinion.
You don't need my opinion. Because there is no special meaning to that glass.
What?
It's safe to say that the glass was set there after the crime took place. By the person who discovered the body, Adrian Andrews, for example. She could have easily been so shocked that she set the glass down without thinking.
That does sound very plausible, Mr. Wright.
Could Miss Andrews really have set that glass down without thinking?
It's possible.
I guess. It's possible that is what happened. There's nothing that points to Miss Andrews not being the one who set the cup down. And if I raise an objection here, that would only make the judge slam his gavel down.
You can't think like that, Phoenix.
What? Yeah.
Right now, you're hanging on by a very thin thread, so you have to say there's no way she had the glass. Anything else you can grab onto right now is better than nothing.
So in other words, push as far as we can go. The defense would like to challenge the prosecution's theory. We would like to see something that proves it was Miss Andrews who set the cup on the table. That is not, I will note that that's not the same as saying it was not possible, game.
You have turned this situation on its head yet again, as usual.
No, what?
Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any proof to back up your claim?
Oh, okay, there, yeah. There's no way he has any. He's just bluffing.
Unlike Mr. Wright, I never say anything unless I have the evidence to support it.
What?
You're not thinking hard enough today, right?
Sorry,
Did you
I'm
think this
tired.
wine glass escaped my notice?
Yes. Then...
Of course it has been thoroughly inspected. For fingerprints.
Fingerprints?
There were only one set of fingerprints left on this wine glass.
Only one? Well, whose were they?
They were not the victims nor the defendants. Rather, they were of one Adrian Andrews.
What?
That is why I said that the person who had discovered the body had left it there. Are we done here, Mr. Wright?
I can't believe I fell into another trap.
Miss Andrews was probably holding the glass when she went to see Mr. Corrida. But upon seeing his dead body, she was stunned and set the glass down on the dresser.
What you just said makes a lot of sense.
Now do you see, Wright? You can't change any part of my scenario, as it explains everything all too well.
Grr.
I've thought long and hard this past year about what it means to be a prosecutor.
You keep saying that.
And from here on out, I will show you the answer I have come to discover.
Well, wait a second. Mr. Edgeworth.
Is it beating me?
I think the prosecution has provided enough evidence for me to enter my verdict.
Oh my God.
Unfortunately, I cannot allow you to pass judgment yet. The prosecution has yet another witness we would like the court to hear from.
Another witness?
Yes. Bailiff, please bring in the next witness.
Oh no.
What in the world is Mr. Edgeworth thinking?
There she is.
Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation.
I think I'm gonna...
Witness, your name and occupation, please. Gotcha!
I thought I was ready for this. I wonder what happened to that calm composure he had earlier.
Oh, Edgy boy, it's been what, a year since we last met, hasn't it? You should be more happy to see me.
I'm gonna sit back and...
I saw the report with her testimony, but who knew that under that helmet, it was the Wicked Witch of the witness stand.
I tell you, this time I know what I'm supposed to do. So today I'm going to tell you anything and everything. Even things that don't have to do with that terrible crime. Miss Witness, that terrible crime is all this court needs to know. Shh, I'm talking to my dear Edgy Wedgie right now, so you gotta shut the fuck up. Don't interrupt us, Gramps. Yes, madam.
No, please, by all means interrupt her. Please. Anyway, witness, your testimony, please.
It's true what they say, that youth are hot-headed nowadays. Not that I mind at all, Edgy. Now then, what should I start with?
The witness was on security detail at the hotel on the night of the murder. Is this correct, Miss Oldbag?
It was a great job being able to see my dearie Juan. It was almost too much for my little heart to handle. You mean you were a fan of the victim? Look, everyone is crazy over that on guard, saying he's cute in a fresh way or something. But not me. I wouldn't say anything so silly. After all, I have no interest in a little child like him. I'm only interested in a real man, Juan Corrida.
But those two were the same age.
Anyway, as I was saying, I was pacing in front of his room that night. I need a drink from my water.
I don't like my men fresh. I like them like a musty old basement.
Very well. Please tell the court what you witnessed the night of the murder.
Leave it to me, Edgy Poo. Anyway, after the ceremony, I went to pace around in the hallway in front of his room. That's a normal thing. There was something I was interested in finding out, you know. Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time. That's when someone showed up. It was a man coming out of poor Juan's room. It was on guard, Matt on guard. He was trying to sneak his way out of Juan's room. So Mr. On Guard came out from the victim's room. See, it has to be him. He's the murderer. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
I keep drinking water hoping it will make my stomach full, but what I really want is peanut butter jelly Eggos.
That's disgusting.
What I witnessed. Anyway, after the ceremony, I paced around in the hallway in front of his room. Something I was interested in finding out. That's not a present moment.
Something you were interested in. And just what was that?
It's not some little thing I can just go around telling everyone, you know. It's top secret between me and Juan. Ah, and Edgeworth, of course. Mr. Edgeworth, what is this thing she was interested in?
I have no idea. I despise gossip, Your Honor. So when she told me about it, I shut my ears and I closed my eyes and I said no. But should it prove relevant, we can always have it appended to her testimony later. It looks like we shouldn't force it right now.
And did the witness stay in the vicinity of the victim's door the entire time?
Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to option save, because this case is a bit... Oops, no, not the title screen. I'm so bad at pressing buttons. Okay. Keep a good eye out. It was a man. It was on guard. He was trying to sneak his way out of Juan's room.
You saw my client? Are you sure about that?
Yes, see?
Oh, really?
That's British for yes. And also hello. Annoying brat. When I say I saw someone, I saw that person.
Why do I get a sense of deja vu?
He was wearing a mask.
Maybe to avoid a repeat of last year, I should delve into this a little bit further. Please tell the court about the man's face in more detail.
You don't need me to tell you about his face. That soft, gentle look in his eyes and his effeminate lips. His right eye covered by his silky hair. His sparkling, shining teeth.
His lips were effeminate?
Well, he's shining all around. He's effeminate all around in this week's pinup poster, dearie.
This week's pinup? What do you... I mean... I don't care how he looks in this week's issue. Please stay with what you saw that night.
What? On guard's face is the same no matter where it is, you know, you whippersnapper. So you picked the wrong one.
It's not important, I guess.
You've wasted 3 minutes of my youth. She may not remember things or be mistaken here and there, but she's maybe young. I didn't read the...
I've not seen this dialogue before.
But that's how the human mind is. It has a tendency to jump off topic. She strayed onto a few interesting side topics this time too, hasn't she? But that's what makes her a sweet old lady, right?
Is it? That's because you're not the one who has to question her.
I love her.
You do?
I love her.
Okay.
She's a lovely woman. I also love the bratty, horrible child from before. I would not say that. I will never say that about Cody Haggins. He's a baby boy, and I love him. He's my son. I keep him in a little box, and I give him a little kiss, and then I put him away.
Is this the same thing we just pressed?
Well, yeah, but they're options.
Oh.
I pressed the wrong option.
I sorry. I guess I have not been paying attention to this.
Were they carrying a knife? What about the
clothes? Please tell the court about the man's clothes in more detail.
What a troublesome man you are. Really, as if something like that matters.
But it does.
Now what was it? Oh, yes, it was that thing.
What thing?
That gaudy thing he's always wearing, that racing jacket.
He was wearing that at the detention center, too.
That thing's meant for nothing but seducing women out of their pantaloons. Men.
Right.
So you're not allowed to be sexy without being a man. So, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just now important or relevant in any way?
I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm struggling to pay attention.
You wasted 3 minutes of it's more valuable than gold to me.
I think it was, Edwin, but okay.
What? You think it was relevant?
I think so.
Why?
That's the one I've seen before.
Because it's Hakama. It's the
most
where they
God damn it! Okay, well, do it again.
Okay.
Wait, what about, actually, I changed my mind, it was relevant. Please say everything again so that I can say that it was relevant.
This is the noise I make when I press the mouse button real fast.
It was very important. Of course it was important, Your Honor.
Then perhaps you would like to point out what part of that testimony was important.
Don't you see it, Edgeworth? Your Honor, I request what the witness said about the jacket to be appended to her testimony.
I don't quite see where you're going with this, but alright. Witness, please. Well, I don't like to badmouth anyone without a reason, but if I must. He was wearing his flashy racing jacket. Honestly, it's all just for show.
So, there is... the rap...
Oh, it's the picture of the nickel. No, wait, no, it's not.
It's not. Because we're not talking about the nickel samurai. We're talking about Matt on guard.
He has his Hakama in the nickel samurai picture. Miss Oldbag.
What? Don't say my name for no reason.
Do you know what this is?
Wow! It's button number 2 on the German ninja's costume!
No, I know she's an obsessed fan. She identified it in a single glance.
Give it here! Give it here! If you don't give it to me, I'll punish you with this!
Wow, he really is a die-hard fan to want a button covered in blood.
It's his blood, too.
This button was discovered on Mr. Engarde's body during a full-body search.
See? This button proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that it was that rascal on guard.
It was caught up in the pleats of his nickel samurai Hakama pants.
See? And on guard is the nickel samurai.
Witness. Now, it may just be me, and I do have an active imagination, but just now, didn't you say that the defendant, Matt on guard, was wearing his usual racing jacket?
I'm so sorry. Sorry that you judge people based on what they wear. If I wore the trendiest dress, that is, I was wearing this ridiculous looking outfit. I'm just red, so I haven't got the tape on this time. Just let me tell you, it's heavy, so I wish I was 15 years ago, but I'm keeping the dream alive for all those kids out there. I woke up with a smile on my face, don't you understand? Now take a look in the mirror. Your clothes are about as interesting as a documentary on curling. You should take up a tip and a fraction pool. He's really got another... Now hold your tongue still there for 1 second. So what you saw in actuality...
Oh, do you want me to do the judge?
You can do the judge.
So what you saw in actuality was not Mr. Engarde the man, but Mr. Engarde the nickel samurai!
But when you think about it... they're really one and the same anyway.
I love how this is exactly the same mistake she made in the third case. Miss Oldbag, this is a very important point we're talking about.
Edgy Poo, do you think so too?
Well, it might be something worth considering.
Just say it's important and agree with me for a change. I'm mad at you.
Witness!
Oh, witness! Think carefully and try to remember as much as you can before you testify.
Oh, all right, if you insist.
I should be the one sighing, not you. Man, I'm mad, Phoenix, today.
Who I saw. On guard. Yes, now I remember. The nickel samurai, that's right. It was the nickel samurai that I saw. Yes, it would have been convenient for him to wear his costume during the murder. He had to go to that post-ceremony stage show right after the crime, you know. So he must have worn that nickel samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan.
It's not like, you know, it would have been possible if you wore it during the murder that he would have gotten blood on it and that would have been bad.
I knew it. I knew you'd say he was inside that costume.
What? Did you think there could have been someone else inside that costume? Don't be a bad little boy thinking such rude things.
But the possibility does exist.
Ah, youngins today. I told you there is no way it was anyone else.
My tumbly.
How do you know that? Because I said so, and what I say is the truth. I'm a witness.
She's just as delightful a witness as she was a year ago.
Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
My tumblies are rumbling. Need peanut butter jelly Eggos.
On guard, on guard. Yes, now I remember. Okay.
Blackberry jam. Honestly, preferably crunchy peanut butter.
We must have won it.
But we don't have that right now.
Let me look at the costume just to see.
But you know, Creamy is easier to
He's
spell.
got big gloves on.
Awful.
He's got this big old
Right,
metal
exactly.
hand. He's got sock shoes. Big old cool
Sorry, what
hair,
do we have to do?
swoopies, big old weapon.
What do we have to do?
We got our testimony.
Oh,
we
yeah.
gotta-
He must have been... Okay, let me look at everything. Let me look at everything. Yeah, press.
Press. Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna say press the second one, but alright. Would you please get up on the stage for me?
Watch your language, young man. What sort of tone is that to take with an elder? My youthfulness isn't what it used to be, so you should forgive me for everything. If you keep on barking at me like that, I'll start singing at the top of my lungs.
What?
A striking figure by the sea, standing all alone is he. He's a little samurai.
She's actually singing. Someone help my poor ears. What is that melody?
I don't know. Mr. Edgeworth, can you please do something about this racket? Witness, I'll give you a piece of gum later if you'll be good and stick to just the facts. I have this gum. I found it on the roadside.
Jeez.
Okay, you promised, right? Right. I'll be sending the bill for the chewing gum to your office at a later date.
Oh, fuck you, Edgeworth. Remind me to send you a thank you note later, too, Edgeworth, old chum. What's a chum bucket?
I know it's I know it from Terraria only, so I don't know what it is in real life.
I might have really bad ADHD today. I don't know.
But in Terraria, if you put it in the water, it increases your chances of fishing up blood moon enemies.
I think it is a fishing
Yeah.
thing. Be a little more careful with your testimony, please. Not too long ago, you said he was wearing his racing jacket, and now he's not?
Not too long ago. Then let me ask you this. When you were itty-bitty, what was your grand dream?
Huh?
What did you want to be when you grew up, whippersnapper?
My dream, well, I, wanted to be Judge Wagner, hero of the public's court. So what?
See? And look where you are now. You're not a Judge Wagner, are you? Are you?
Well.
What I said earlier. Who puts any weight into things like that? And the now is everything. I can't be held responsible for the past.
Since when did court become theatrics over testimonies?
All that matters is that man was inside that costume. Isn't that enough?
What? What?
There's something in particular.
I'm sorry. I thought you liked to smack him on the ass, but I startled him.
Is there a reason he wouldn't have been wearing the costume?
I feel like...
Well, let's press that.
Come on.
So let me ask you one last time. The person you saw, it really was the Nickel Samurai?
As showy as ever. Haven't I been saying that from the very beginning?
No! Can I throw in the towel yet? Phoenix, you're mean.
You don't need to think too hard on this one.
Huh?
There's a contradiction in her testimony, and it's sitting in plain sight. The question is what that contradiction means for us.
Well, I have to figure out what you're talking about first, but okay.
He was going to confess something as the Nickel Samurai. It's from the...
let's look at all of her statements.
It's got his fingerprints on it. So he could have just taken it off his gloves to eat dinner and his mask. Like he couldn't have been eating in his costume. Well,
why would he take off the gloves to commit the murder?
Yeah. But the fingerprints also just could have been on it for me eating dinner,
well, yeah.
and then he put whatever.
Oh.
I'm going to present the knife.
Please take a look at this.
Yeah, so it's a knife. Big deal, I have knives at home. If you're trying to scare me with that, I'll have you know it won't work.
No, that's not my intention at all.
That's the knife that was used in the murder, correct?
Alright, I don't think that meant anything. Do you know why this piece of evidence is important to this
Are you
case?
trying to, like...
Not like actually.
No, because we don't know any kind of actual sign language.
I know some of the alphabet.
I don't.
I think I know yes and no.
You don't even have to ask. It's because the defendant's fingerprints are on it.
I knew a bit when I was like really little.
Is that what you're driving at?
That is exactly what I'm driving at.
Oh, what are we driving at? Then whose car are we driving?
Oh, I forgot I'm doing that.
I need to sit in the front seat because I get car sick.
If Mr. On Guard was really in the Nickel Samurai costume at the time of the murder, then it's impossible for his fingerprints to have been left on this knife. Actually, he would have wiped all previous fingerprints off this knife off.
Okay. I guess that's how it works.
Oh, that's right. The Nickel Samurai wears gloves, doesn't he?
He probably took his gloves off before he began the stabbing. Didn't want to get blood on his gloves, you know?
And why would he do something like that? To leave his prints on the murder weapon?
If you have
There is no way he would do something
nice
like that.
gloves. However, there is one possibility.
Then let's hear your possibility.
It's very simple. The defendant went to the victim's room while in costume as the Nickel Samurai. At that time, the defendant held no intent to murder. He was probably just going to relax and talk with the victim about the stage show. Which is why he took his gloves off.
But the murder still did take place.
It's well known that there was bad blood between the defendant and the victim.
Yes, I have heard that before. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say about Mr. Edgeworth's theory?
So let me get this straight. Edgeworth's theory goes like this. When the defendant went to the victim's room, he had no intention of killing him.
But he brought the knife with him.
Yeah, okay, well, that's it.
There is a contradiction.
This theory contradicts something in an earlier testimony.
What are you babbling about?
Now, for argument's sake, let's suppose Mr. On Guard was the killer. If that's the case, I think it's impossible for the killer to have gone to the victim's room without intent.
They brought the knifey.
Yes. This knife. This was used by Mr. On Guard at dinner.
Yes, we did establish that.
Which means that if my client was, in fact, the killer, then he brought this knife with him when he went to visit Mr. Kurita.
I suppose.
However, you just said it yourself. At that time, the defendant held no intent to murder. If that were true, then why would he bring a knife? He wouldn't, would he? Which means, Mr. Edgeworth, your theory was flawed from supposition 1. And one more thing. If the murderer was wearing the costume at the time of the murder, then there should be glove marks left on the knife. Which means the defendant's fingerprints shouldn't be all over it like bees on a hive. And that brings me to my final point. This knife was planted by the real killer to hide their identity and mislead us.
Oh, order, I say, order in the court. Was this knife really planted by the killer? Why would the murderer do such a thing?
To frame Madame Guard.
Yeah.
It's to frame my client, Mr. On Guard, of course.
To frame?
Aren't you forcing the interpretation just a little too hard on this one?
But we just established the witness saw the Nickel Samurai in costume. And if that were true, then there shouldn't be a single fingerprint on this knife.
Gah! Witness! It looks like I've made your life a tiny bit more difficult, huh, Jipu?
Witness, did you or did you not really see the Nickel Samurai?
Well, I guess at first I might have forgotten, but...
Are you saying you mixed up Mr. On Guard with the Nickel Samurai, his character on TV?
But I mean, I can't really do anything about that now! Look, I was waiting around in front of their doors because, well, I wasn't waiting around for the Nickel Samurai, that's for sure.
She wasn't waiting for the Nickel Samurai. Alright then. Who were you waiting around for then?
That's top secret to anyone outside of security.
I have a feeling that you were waiting for Mr. Juan Corrida. Am I correct, witness?
Ha! The way you think, you are a sad amateur with a terrible case of nearsightedness. Get out!
Amateur? Me? What am I an amateur of?
So Old Bag was waiting around in front of the victim's room. But it doesn't sound like she was waiting to catch a glimpse of Mr. Corrida.
Maybe, Phoenix. Maybe the old bag was waiting around for that person.
Who? If it's who I think Mia's hinting at, it's certainly possible. Miss Oldbag, you were waiting for this person to come out of the victim's room, weren't you?
It's
Adrian Andrews.
Who is this person?
Oh, this is Adrian Andrews, Mr. On Guard's manager.
But why would the defendant's manager be in the victim's room?
It seems that this is the latest rumor in circulation, Your Honor.
Oh, this is... I see.
The judge seems to be really into the article, if it can be called such a thing.
Then this manager with the initials AA, are you saying it's...
Adrian Andrews. Without a doubt, the witness thought so as well.
Looks like you found me out. Well, that's fine. I can throw away this whole sworn to confidentiality stuff then. I just kind of made that shit up.
What?
Witness, what in the world are you...
Watch out, Phoenix. I've got a bad feeling about this. A very bad feeling. I got some information, some very secret information from a certain source. So that's why I was doing my own little investigation. In secret, of course.
But what for?
Oh, just for myself. Personal reasons and all that.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, how will you proceed from here?
I really don't want to do this. However, I cannot simply let this point slide.
I see. Very well then. Witness, please testify about this secret information.
Get ready. This is going to take the wind out of you, young'uns.
I'm sure we're all capable of handling this. Really, it's not like we're 10 years old. Oh man, I'm so bad at paying attention right now. I'm so sorry.
It's okay, it's mostly my character. That on guard is one evil, evil man. He thought he could ruin poor Juan by causing a huge scandal. So to do that, he sent his own manager to get in close with Juan. I cannot condone such dirty tricks, so I took action. Oh, and this is top secret, you got that? Nobody else but you and me know yet, okay? That's all just straight up lie. It's in the tabloid.
The defendant sent his manager. What a distasteful topic for this court.
I think she's saying that, she's saying more about it than what was in the tabloids.
What?
Nobody's above gossip. And isn't there a saying, the truth is never pleasant?
Never heard that one before.
Mr. Edgeworth, what about this Adrian Andrews person?
We have looked into this matter, and found that the truth the article proposes is, in fact, baseless gossip.
But should this be true, then this proves that the defendant did bear ill will toward the victim.
So this means I have to smash this rumor once and for all.
Now then, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
I'm adjusting my...
Be careful. The old bag seems rather excited right now.
That's right! On guard is nothing but your average foul-blooded youth.
Well, as the old saying goes, you've gotta burn old bags with fire. Time to fire up the afterburners and hit the highway to the danger zone. There's a lot of reference in this game that we don't get, I think.
Highway!
Because they're from, like, when we were young. Too young. Possibly even before we were born.
I don't know when this game came out. I know that the original Ace Attorney came out before both of us were born. That on God is one evil man. He thought he could ruin poor Juan by causing a huge scandal. He sent his own manager to get in close with Juan. I cannot condone that I took action.
For the record, I'm 19 and Eagle will turn 18 this year.
Why? Why for the record?
I don't know. Wait.
What? I'm a busy woman. Tea time with the kids is over.
Secret information that no one else knows yet. If that's true, then how do you know this secret information?
Huh? Well, that's because I am a pro. Yes, that's it. It's a secret. Even if you drilled a hole into my brain, you'll never find out.
How in the world did that old bag get such a secret piece of information? Bad. Not bad. Oh my god.
Did you get the did you get it from Lotta, or did you get it from tabloid article about the victims in the case?
Such a hard time believing. I'm so sorry.
It's a superstar in Ultra Medical. Mega secret love scandal.
Oh,
It's
present
just
the
that they're
camera.
getting- Yeah. Present evidence.
So no one else is supposed to know this secret information, correct? If that's true, then why do you know it, Miss Oldbag?
Well, why are you looking at me like that? Stop that!
Witness! I hate to say it, but this is how you came to acquire your secret info, isn't it?
Is it?
The investigative photographer Lotta Hart.
Save again. I'm paranoid about this case.
Oh, yes, I remember that mischievous girl.
She reported that she had lost a certain note she had written to herself.
She reported such a thing.
On that piece of paper, she had written down some of her impressions about the relationship between the victim and Miss Andrews.
What? Outrageous ideas, you say?
I didn't say. I said impressions.
Then everything written on this piece of paper is completely meaningless.
Ah, that's it. That's the note.
Ah! Ah! No, you see, this is something completely different. This is my top secret list of groceries to buy. Then you are the one who took Miss Hart's note. Everyone knows about this. She's been going all around being like, where is my note? I'm a huge fan of Juan's, that's why! That infamous puffy-haired whippersnapper, she's working with that evil on guard. She said so herself. On guard, I'm his sidekick. She was so happy, smiling like a silly duck. I was only checking what she had written. Edgy Poo, you believe me, don't you? I was only trying to help out like the angel I am. It's only one little piece of paper. I've never taken anything else before.
You really should come up with You really should come with a supply of cheese to match your vintage wine.
Well, it was only a piece of paper. I suppose we can overlook just this once. She looks like she's really sorry.
I'm really sorry.
Forgive her? No, what? If I let up on her now, she'll get away. I have to find some way to inflict a deafening blow to the prosecution. Witness, you said that the only thing you stole was that note. Is this correct?
It's stole? Why don't you listen more carefully, you annoying brat? I saved this piece of paper from the terrible, lonely trash can, that's all.
You're lying, damn it, and I can prove it.
Are you putting my credibility under scrutiny again?
Miss Oldbag, I don't believe that note is the only thing you stole that night.
What did she steal?
The camera.
Did you steal the fucking camera from Lara?
Miss Oldbag, that note was with a camera inside its case, wasn't it?
A camera?
Yesterday, Lotta Hart was raising a huge stink over her camera. She kept saying something like, "My sweetie $1,600 camera disappeared on me."
Why, witness! What is it, Gramps?
If you have the note, then it is only logical that you have the camera, too.
Looks like you found me out again, Sonny. Is this the camera you're looking for?
Ah, that's...
What? Even though I look like this, I'm still a person, you know? I still eat meals like you, I fall in love, and borrow things from people. I think your definition of borrow is a little off. I saw that woman's business card, and that's when I noticed it said, Slimebag Celebrity Photographer Extraordinaire. Well, when I saw that, I had to know what sort of pictures she had taken. I'm a professional security guard. It's my business to know these things. Bailiff.
Check this camera's photos. Hurry! We must examine them at once! Wow.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do we have?
There is only one photo that seems to be relevant to this case.
Please present it to the court.
I'll let you do it if you want.
No, you do.
Okay. This is the Nickel Samurai!
See? I told you! That's the guy I saw!
This proves that the witness was not lying earlier about this matter. What does this all mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
This photo by itself does not prove that the person in it is the defendant. However, in his own confession, Mr. Engard clearly stated that at the time of the murder, he was still in his Nickel Samurai costume.
If that is the case, then this Nickel Samurai is...
The defendant.
How did it come to this? I think this brings us to the end. We have examined every piece of evidence thoroughly. Final comments, Mr. Wright? The court will consider them before we close. Do you agree that this photo is decisive evidence against your client? If this photo really is decisive, then we're done for. But if I raise an objection here and blow it, then I would put Maya's life in jeopardy. I can't make a mistake here. There's only one road out of this mess. This photo that Lotta took, there's something strange with this photo.
I knew this was coming, right?
Your thoughts, Mr. Edgeworth?
I think we can all agree there is nothing strange with this photo. There is no way for the defense to debunk this photo, even with a bunker buster.
Debunk with a bunker buster? Is that what you're planning to do, Mr. Wright? What the fuck is a bunker buster?
I don't know what that is, Your Honor. Anyway, please look at the photo one more time.
If you really believe you can honestly find something wrong with this photo, then you should only need one chance, correct?
Well, I have to find something wrong with this photo. I can't let this chance go by. Where in the heck did she get this photo from anyway? It's all out of focus. Why can't she take a good shot, especially when it counts?
Now then, let's hear your objection. What about this photo is strange? Feet.
Feet! Always the feet. I would like to direct the court's attention to this one area right here.
Oh, what are you pointing to? His ankles?
No, his feet! If you could see this person's ankles, that would be one thing. However, you can't.
And? But what does that mean?
The costumed person in this photo could not have been Mr. On Guard.
What is the meaning of this?
I wonder if you would care to elaborate, with actual facts, that is.
Facts? Let's take a look at the Nickel Samurai's poster.
You say facts.
Facts.
Facts?
Fuck. Okay. Please pay particular attention to the area around the bottom of the hakama.
His
socks. You can see his socks.
Exactly. However, in this photo,
back in my day, that would have been a scandal.
the Nickel Samurai is clearly holding up his hakama up just to walk. Sorry, I'm bad at this today. There's only one explanation for this. The person inside this costume is clearly much shorter than the defendant. Alright, I think I've turned things around for myself this time.
That's curious.
Huh? What is?
Edgeworth is unusually calm today.
That's true.
He's just letting the trial run itself, as if he's only along for the ride.
Along for the ride? What do you mean by that?
I can only guess that perhaps he doesn't feel under attack at all.
He doesn't feel under attack? Then I haven't damaged his case at all?
Mr. Edgeworth, where does this leave us? If the person in this photo is not Matt on guard, then everything the prosecution has tried to prove has become meaningless.
I figured it would come to this.
What?
Right? I have something I want to ask you. I think you have proven that the person inside this costume is not Matt on guard. In that case, who is this a photo of?
Who is the person wearing the Nickel Samurai costume?
Don't stress out over this, Phoenix. It's very simple. What you should be focused on is Edgeworth's attitude, don't you think?
Yeah. Why is he so calm?
Mr. Wright, let's hear your thoughts. Who is the person in this photograph?
Well, it's gotta be Miss Adrian Andrews.
Dude.
Adrian Andrews?
If you want to know who that Nickel Samurai is, it is none other than this woman.
And why would you say it must be Miss Andrews? What in the world points you to her?
For starters, she's short. And she can freely move in and out of Mr. Angard's room. Finally, she had dinner with Mr. Angard that night.
And how does that all add up?
It means that it makes it very easy for her to get a certain item. A certain knife with Mr. Angard's fingerprints all over it.
The knife that was used as a murder weapon.
Why don't you just say what it is you want, right?
I have to do this now. This is my last chance to turn things around. The defense moves to indict Miss Adrian Andrews in the murder of Juan Corrida. It was Miss Andrews who tried to frame the defendant for the crime.
Order! 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 It looks like this trial has hit a most unexpected development. Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, Your Honor.
This court is issuing a subpoena for Miss Adrian Andrews. A verdict cannot be passed without first hearing her testimony.
Alright, this is it.
This is kind of bad for us.
Huh? What do you mean?
If Adrian Andrews is summoned to court as a witness, it means that the trial will go on for another day.
One more day? Ah! If I don't get a verdict today, then Maya...
I am so sad. Now then, we shall set Miss Andrews' testimony for tomorrow.
What am I supposed to do? The judge is about to adjourn the court. We gotta raise an objection.
We gotta.
Now then.
Oh god, I'm so sorry.
Please, Your Honor, continue the trial. You must pass a verdict today.
No, I can't do that. We cannot hear Miss Andrews' testimony if she is not...
I abhor wasting such valuable time.
Edgeworth?
Your Honor, I request that you please continue with today's trial.
But we cannot continue due to this unexpected development.
Unexpected development? I think you underestimate me, Your Honor.
And what do you mean by that?
That Mr. Phoenix Wright would slave his way to subpoenaing Miss Adrian Andrews is all happening according to plan. Even if Wright was a bit slow to catch on.
What?
What is the meaning of your statement, Mr. Edgeworth?
Miss Adrian Andrews is currently waiting in the prosecution's lobby. She is the next witness.
Everything was planned out in advance by that man?
Somehow I knew there was no way Edgeworth would overlook Miss Andrews. Looks like this battle is far from over. Exactly.
Very well. We will call the next witness. However, before we proceed, we shall take a 10-minute recess. Please prepare your witness in that time, Mr. Edgeworth. The court will now take a 10-minute recess.
Well, you heard the judge.
I'm so hungry. I need to eat my peanut butter jelly Eggos right now.
So you save the game.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Oh yeah.
go to my little timer. Timer for 10 minutes.
Here, I will also.
We'll be right back.
Oh, because you moved that to a different folder.
Oh, did I? What?
There's something. Well, you were like clearing out space in the. So I assume that's why these are gone. So that image is gone actually.
Oh, okay.
We don't have it available. So that's great.
Here, I'll just. Where's us?
Us is the on background.
Okay. And I'll mute the mic as well.
Yeah.
We'll be back in
Oh, sorry, I
in
muted it.
10 minutes.
I don't remember. That was great intro. Dun, 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 dun. We got snacks. Dun, 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 dun. If you don't like the sound of me eating cheese with apple slices, sorry. I don't know how audible it is, but I should close the door. Mario'll be back. She's getting more food. Do you mind if I start without you? March 22nd. We're back, baby. District Court Defendant Lobby number 3. Dude, I can't believe that Adrian... No way! Not cool and collected Adrian Andrews. She is your manager. It would have been very easy for her to pull this off. The only person who had easy access to the knife you used at dinner was, well, her. So after the ceremony, during the break, huh? I was sleeping like a log the entire time. See, she could have also easily planted that blood-covered button in your hakama. Because she was the one that came to wake me up? I was a bit sleepy. It was eepy. Then, dude, you're saying it really was her? Yes, she is the real killer. She was the one who murdered Juan Carita.
No suit jacket, I'm so tired.
But, why? I thought she was buds with Juan. She has her own agenda. Her own agenda? What are you talking about? I'm sure you'll see by the time this trial's over. It'll be alright. I'll get you acquitted by the end of the day. Give me a verdict that's refreshing like a spring breeze, okay, Mr. Lawyer Dude? Phoenix. You think her motive is related to Celeste Impact's missing suicide note, right?
Yes. Miss Andrews depended on Miss Impact as her strength and reason to live. But then Miss Impact suddenly killed herself. It sounds like she left a suicide note, and the person thought to have hidden it is...
It's Juan Carita, the victim of this murder.
And that's why I think that Miss Andrews got close to Mr. Carita. All to get the suicide note back.
That sounds plausible. But one thing bothers me. What? Who was it that first told us about their relationship? Better stated, Miss Andrews' dependency issues with regards to Miss Impact's.
It was Edgeworth.
It looks like he's still the one in command of this ship. Don't let your guard down yet. I'm back. Shadow. It's me. I love you.
Court will now reconvene. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you please.
The prosecution calls the witness subpoenaed by this court. Miss Adrian Andrews, the person who discovered the crime in Mr. Juan Carita's room. I got my card. Oh, I was playing with the card. What is your occupation? I am the manager of the defendant in this case, Mr. Madon Garth.
I see. Now then.
Before we begin, Your Honor, I have one request.
Yes, sure. What is it?
I'm sure everyone in this room is wondering the same thing, and would love to find out more about my relationship with the victim. After all, it was the topic of a certain weekly magazine recently.
No, I have no idea what you mean. I've never even heard of Gossipland.
If the judge was ever a prosecution witness, he'd do all my work for me.
Anyway, I was wondering if you could please tell us about your relation to the victim. Yes, I was seeing Mr. Carita. I was also aware of the rivalry that existed between Matt and Juan. But this was a private matter between Juan and myself.
So it was a fry and bait matter. Or was that bait and fry? Reminds me of fishing.
But I didn't kill him. No one is accusing you of that.
I am.
I think there's someone who would beg to differ.
I think we all understand your relationship with the victim now, Miss Andrews.
Very well then. Witness, please testify to the court. About what happened when you discovered the murder that had taken place. When I found the body. It was time for the show to start, so I went to go get Matt from his room. After that, I went to Juan's room. And there was his dead body. Excuse me?
Sorry.
I was in shock. What I saw was, naturally, the exact same scene as in the crime scene photo. I felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice.
You poured yourself a glass of juice?
Yes. Sadly, I didn't remember not to touch things at the scene of a crime. And I disturbed the crime scene by moving this one thing.
Why didn't you drink it?
And that is when the fingerprints on the wine glass were made, Your Honor.
I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Why didn't you drink it?
Phoenix, she is one cool and collected customer, and she has the brains to match.
Yes, I know.
In order to catch a person like... Did you put this in my bowl?
No.
Okay, I guess this was mine.
Yeah.
In order to catch a person... I just didn't remember having a piece this big. In order to catch a person like her, you have to avoid head-on confrontations. You should disrupt her pacing.
Disrupt her pacing?
She's the type of woman who is easily thrown off by things inconsistent with her thinking. So you have to attack when she least expects it. The instant you let up on your defense is the instant this trial is over. Understand?
Why does everyone know everything about her?
It's her blog, man. Like, you know, it's not under her name, but everyone knows it's her. It's under AA. Time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. Why?
Why did you do that?
As a friendly gesture, Juan was to make an appearance with the other heroes.
So the show was supposed to be a show of friendship, huh? I should back off. As long as I don't have any proof, she's not going to talk.
May we continue now? Witness, what did you see when you got to his room? He was fucking dead, man.
This is the photo you're referring to, correct?
Yes, the one with the knife lodged in his chest.
And the guitar case was like this too?
Yes, it was open and empty, of course. And then, what did you do next, witness? I felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice. It was... 'cause... So, it only has Carita's fingerprints.
Yes.
It was open at the crime scene, so, but that would have had to have been after the fight because there's only water on top of the lid.
Yes. There's nothing about that that's contradicting right now.
I guess.
Let's press this. Juice.
Yes, there was a bottle of tomato juice on the table, so I helped myself.
But you didn't drink any of it, did you?
Huh?
There were no lip marks left on this wine glass to suggest that anyone drank from it.
I wasn't feeling terribly great, so I set the glass down without drinking it.
It doesn't sound like there's any glaring contradictions in her testimony just now.
I warned you earlier that she would not crack so easily. The only way to make her is to...
Keep on the offensive and not let up.
The only way you're going to catch her is with some very strong, decisive evidence.
I have to find something. I just have to. For Maya's sake.
Is it... Because he was going to do this
Yes.
weird fucking conference thing.
I don't think that's relevant right now.
Okay.
So you pressed something at one point and it gave you the option to...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
You were in shock?
What? Was I not supposed to be?
Miss Andrews is a very calculating person. And despite how close they were, I doubt she had romantic feelings for
Why?
Mr. Verita. Because he sucked.
I
don't-
guess. Wait, do we know? We don't know he sucked.
I
guess he
think
stole. I
sucked.
guess he stole presumably stole the suicide note.
I think he sucks. I've always thought he sucks.
Anyone
bag
randomly
likes
stumbling upon a dead body would be in shock. Boop. Jeez.
Anyone who bag likes probably sucks. That's why, you know.
And you can't seriously expect that a young beauty like her would not be shocked.
Edgeworth, what?
What?
Somehow I don't think beauty has anything to do with being shocked or not.
She's a young woman. I see.
Miss Andrews, I would like to confirm with you one more time. When you discovered the dead body of Juan Carita, you were in great shock. And that's when you poured yourself that glass of juice, correct?
And what of it? My mind really was a complete blank at the time.
Your mind was a complete blank? I didn't think that was possible for you.
Aren't you rude today? I was so dazed that I made one careless mistake. That one thing.
What one thing?
Never mind. It's no big deal.
No, you can't. No,
No,
you have to
no.
tell me now.
No, it's not
You
that-
have to tell me now. Then.
Nah.
Well, she's starting to use now. Press further. Miss Andrews, I'm convinced that, as you said, you made a mistake at the scene of the crime. What I really want to know is what this mistake was.
Actually, so would I. I'm sorry. It's just... It's kind of embarrassing. When I set the glass down on the dresser, I accidentally knocked the flower vase over.
Huh.
A
Flower vase? Are you talking about the one in the floor of the crime scene photo? The
This
mess of...
mess of glass shards? It was originally on top of the dresser, but when I bumped into it with my elbow, it fell onto the guitar case. Why did you withhold such an important piece of information? I'm sorry. I thought that since the crime scene was already in disarray, that people would simply assume the vase was just another part of the mess. It looks like yet another fact has come to light here. You hear me? That's how you say fact, Edgeworth. Please add this and anything else you have to reveal to your testimony. I'm sorry, but I have nothing more to add. I didn't touch anything else. What? You were the one who knows the kids who fell into the guitar case? But there's none of it in it. It's only on top of the lid. You fuck.
You testified that you knocked the flower vase over. Is this correct?
Yes.
And are you sure it fell onto the guitar case?
Is there some problem with what I said?
It's not some problem, it's a major problem. Is it true that the top of the guitar case was wet? It's true that the top of the guitar case was wet with
Is
water.
it true that the top of the guitar case was wet with water? Yes.
However, that's exactly what's so strange. Miss Andrews, you testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case. However, if that was true, the case should have gotten wet on the inside, not the outside.
That's very true.
Furthermore, there is one other strange thing about this guitar case.
And what is that?
Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. The remains of the vase are scattered on the floor.
And what is wrong with that?
If the guitar case was open when the vase fell, the glass shard should be inside, not outside the case.
What is your point, right? That the case was closed at the time the vase was knocked over? Is that all?
Objection. No. Think back to what Miss Andrews testified to. She said that other than the vase, she didn't touch anything else.
Yes, that's right. She did implicitly say she didn't touch the guitar case.
But this whole matter with the guitar case is a dead end. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. It has no bearing on this case at all.
That may very well be. However, the empty guitar case does seem to have no relation to this case.
The red guitar is a red herring.
What?
I'm high-fiving myself.
Edgeworth, don't do that. It's a loser thing.
It seems that there is no deeper meaning to the guitar case. Well, Mr. Wright, do you think we need to hear more details about the guitar case?
Make her testify. The empty guitar case. I believe this is a crucial piece of the puzzle. Ow, my mouth hurts for some reason. Can I have an apple?
You can have an apple.
Yeah.
I can't believe anyone would reach for straws like this. But it is you. Oh, but it is you.
I can't believe I'm doing this either.
All right. I'll follow along. For now. Miss Andrews, please testify to the court about the guitar case.
Yes, Your Honor. The guitar case. I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. It's not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. As for why I opened the case, even I don't know.
It looks like this really wasn't a very important point.
This wastefulness is such a familiar feeling by now that it's almost comforting.
Anyway, I'll just go ahead and start the cross-examination.
Using any way to change the topic. A convenient escape for a weak man. I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. It's not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. Oh wait, I'm not paying attention.
Yeah, me neither.
You're a bit dazed. You must have opened the guitar case.
Let me know when I need to talk.
The case was empty.
Hold it. Was it really empty?
Hmm?
I was just wondering if maybe when you opened the case, the guitar was still inside.
Objection. How long have you been a lawyer, Mr. Wright?
Oh,
have a little professionalism. The
my
bright
whole
red
life.
guitar was found at your whole life.
Yes, I was born a
It's
lawyer.
my secret. I wasn't always a firefighter. These trials would be over in half the time if you would just pay attention.
Yes, pay more attention, Mr. Wright.
Sorry.
I know. Horrible eating.
Was that because you were shocked and dazed at discovering the victim's body?
Yes, that's probably it.
Fuck. I'm not going to get anywhere if I continue pressing her like this. The only way to make her talk is with evidence. I'm gonna have evidence.
Alright, I'm gonna save because I don't want to get any penalty.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna do it 100 mode. Whatever that means, what I said. I know why you opened the case. I don't know if this is anything.
I'm stretching my neck.
You were looking for the suicide note.
Your Honor, that statement contradicts this evidence.
No.
Okay, let me do it.
You've seen this case more times than I have.
Also, I remember a lot of things.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Actually, I was running through this in my head about what exactly we would be doing. I do remember the case was empty. So what do we have? Sorry, what is she saying? I haven't been paying attention.
She opened the guitar case after she knocked the vase over. Oh wait.
So
No, yeah.
there's no other fingerprints on it. So should we present this because it has her fingerprints?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it. Okay, present the guitar case.
Shut up. What if we load the previous save?
Don't commit to not getting any penalties.
We got 2, so after you knock the but the guitar case has fingies, or it only has Corita fingies.
There's no way you were the one who opened the guitar case.
Oh my god, just a second, I'm going to my apple. Why would you say that?
It's elementary, my dear. Because the only fingerprints on the guitar case are those of the victim.
Ah. What is it, Miss Andrews? You shouldn't assume that I must have left prints just because I touched the case.
What do you mean?
What if I were to tell you that I was wearing gloves at the time?
Gloves? But why would you be wearing gloves at the time?
It was the night of the award ceremony, so of course I dressed up for the occasion. Yes, now I remember. I'm almost sure I was wearing a pair of thin gloves.
I see. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems the witness was wearing gloves at the scene of the crime.
That's strange. You were wearing gloves. Isn't that a little strange?
Why is that strange? Do you have something that would prove I was not wearing gloves at the time?
Yes.
Yes.
I have your proof right here. This wine glass.
The wine glass?
You left your fingerprints very clearly on this wine glass.
Ah.
Even if you took your gloves off when you poured yourself this glass of juice, wouldn't you think it was just a little strange? That you put your gloves back on just to open the guitar case?
Ah! My glasses! Order!
Sorry, I'm falling asleep. Not really, then.
Looks like you hit the nail on the head this time.
What do you mean?
I believe that guitar case plays a very important role here.
But it's just an empty case.
I wonder if it really was empty, though.
But the guitar, the bright red guitar was at the studio.
Phoenix, drop all of your presumptions.
What? I liked them, though.
What was in the guitar case was not the bright red guitar.
Uh-huh. You don't mean... It was a bright white guitar? Wait, that's not right either.
I admit it would be unnatural for someone to do that.
They put bleach on the guitar, and they put it in the case.
So the witness was not wearing gloves, despite the fact that on the case...
And then they grinded up the guitar.
Your Honor,
and
this
put
is
the wood chips in
obviously
his
the
drink.
defense's usual misdirection tactic at work. Can you quiet the... I don't know what you're talking about, but it's wrong. Steer the court towards an unrelated topic and lull us all into this misguided...
Objection! No, Your Honor. Oh, I don't know why I...
No, Your Honor.
Please recall that Miss Andrews had testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case. Ha! Which means that the case was closed when the crime took place.
Sorry, I'm organizing my cheese.
However, it is wide open in the photo of the crime scene. I am sure this guitar case has some relation to the murder.
If you are so sure, right, then I'm sure you can somehow substantiate your outrageous claim, correct? Please, enlighten us as to why that guitar case has anything at all to do with this murder.
Can you do that, Mr. Wright?
Well, let's suppose for a second that the bright red guitar was not the only thing that could have been in the case.
The bright red guitar not being the only thing. You don't mean to suggest that a bright black guitar...
How can it be bright and black? So you intend to push your theory that the case was not empty. Is that it, right?
I wouldn't say something I didn't intend to prove.
Deflate that head of yours. You haven't proven anything yet.
Adrian Andrews smuggled herself into the victim's room in the guitar case.
Now then, let's have it. What was inside this case at the time of the murder? She stole
The camera? A lot of tomato juice. What? No, it's not the suicide note.
It was in the guitar.
No! Oh, this is a little weird to point out, actually.
Why don't you put that in the void where your brain is supposed to be?
It's not supposed to be in the void, it's supposed to be in my little head.
But as it is now, it is not brain, it is void.
Oh, no!
Yes, and never bring it out again.
Can't a foolishly foolish fool get some love, Edgeworth?
Not until you apologize for being mad at me.
Yeah, oh, yeah, wow. Okay, wait, I can prove it this time. Eaglet, present the photo of the nickel samurai.
What?
Present the photo of, that's it, that's it.
Oh. It is it. What? Yeah, I didn't remember that.
Yeah, he smuggled himself in to kill him.
No! Fuck!
A photograph.
Case! But what is important is what is in that picture, Your Honor.
In this picture...
It doesn't take a genius, no. It doesn't take a genius to see what I mean. What I'm proposing is... Inside the guitar case was the nickel samurai, the hero's very own costume. I have hiccups, I think.
1 second.
Oh, come on, Edward.
What?
Mr. Wright, explain yourself.
Right. Are you saying that the witness opened the guitar case to take out a costume? What insane point would there be to doing something like that?
That insane point would be to wear the costume, of course. Miss Andrews put it on to hide her identity so she could make her escape. After all, you couldn't let anyone see you leave, could you, Miss Andrews?
I refuse to accept your theory. Do you have anything to support such a preposterous idea?
Just outside the door was an investigative photographer who was starving for a big scoop. And in the end, she managed to get this shot, correct?
You mean this photo?
Yes.
Order! It looks like we've wandered into quite another mess again, haven't we?
Nice job, Phoenix.
Well, you know my strategy. Speak first, think later.
So the real murderer was hiding inside a costume.
Oh, yes. And inside the guitar case. No, he wasn't.
Wait 1 second, Your Honor. The Nickel Samurai's costume would have been Mr. Matt on guards. Why would something of the defendant be in the victim's room?
Oh.
And inside the guitar case of all places?
True. That is a little baffling. Mr. Wright, the court would like to hear your thoughts. What was this Nickel Samurai costume doing inside the guitar case?
Probably a spare costume. Because he was wearing his. Mr. On Guard did not take his costume off during the break period. In that case, the costume we are talking about was a spare one.
What? Then are you saying that on the night of the murder, there were 2 Nickel Samurai costumes at the Gatewater Hotel?
Yes, that is what I'm saying. The costume was inside the guitar case.
It would mean that the victim himself had brought this spare to the ceremony on purpose.
Or he did it on accident.
Is he behind you sneaking around?
He's looking for something to eat.
He's looking for the cheese that he can
Oh,
smell.
yeah, he sure is. Sorry, it's too up.
Yeah, it's too up. You're too short. Oh, he's a baby.
Oh, here, you want my lap?
You can come up, but you gotta go around. You gotta go to the other side where there's room for you to get up.
You can get up here.
It's fine. Get up then. Huh? No, there.
Yeah, you are smart.
Yeah.
There's no cheese over there.
He's smart, but he's like a stubborn little guy. Come up. He's brought the spare on purpose. The victim did.
Oh, he wants up now. Oh, he wants your...
You want up? No, you're not getting any. He's like, I'm being good.
Oh my god, and there's cheese on it. Oh, he's so excited. He doesn't get it
You
though.
don't get any.
No.
But why? The victim, Mr. Kurita, was the Jammin' Ninja.
He's right up.
Why would he secretly
camera.
bring the Nickel Samurai spare costume with him?
You're Batman. It's the
What could be the reason behind such a peculiar act?
And therein lies the sticking point.
You little cutie. What are you mumbling to yourself about now? You Have you just been rambling all this time without any sense of inner monologue?
Kind of. I'm like dissociating a little bit today.
Mr. Wright, please explain yourself. Why do you think the victim had the Nickel Samurai spare costume?
Phoenix, are you sure you can explain this one?
No, what is it?
Think carefully before you answer. And then answer with gusto. I believe in you.
Oh, really? Okay. Let's go.
Like, and there's cheese. You
Mia.
can't eat when you're dead.
Yeah, you have to press the button.
Oh, I do.
Alright, this is what I think. The reason the victim brought the Nickel Samurai's spare costume to the hotel was...
Matt had no clue.
he had no idea. Oh, he's stinky.
You get a hair on your nose. You get a hair on your nose.
What is this?
You get a hair on your nose.
What is it?
On the night of the murder,
No.
after the stage show,
You are sharp.
the Nickel Samurai was going to hold a special press conference.
A press conference.
Yes, the Nickel Samurai was supposed to confess something at this conference.
I heard about this as well. For once, you're not making something up, right?
Not usually. Leave me alone. What struck me as strange is that Mr. On Guard himself said he had no idea he was supposed to be holding a press conference that night.
But how can that be?
The way I see it, that can mean only one thing. The conference was set up by none other than the victim, Mr. Juan Carita himself.
The victim!
Oh,
What are you looking for?
I'm stretching my nose.
Oh.
Yes. The spare nickel samurai costume was prepared for that very conference. Mr. Carita was going to hold the press conference as the Nickel Samurai.
Oh my god!
Batman, come here. What are you doing over there?
He was going to dress up as the Nickel Samurai and hold a conference. But why would the victim do such a thing?
That's something I don't quite know yet. However, what I am concerned with right now is what he intended to reveal at that conference.
The Nickel Samurai was going to confess something. And by confess, I'd wager he was going to reveal something about himself.
Which means that Juan Carita, posing as the Nickel Samurai, was going to speak about Matt on guard.
Yes, I guess that is what it would mean.
But if that's the case, that's not a confession, that's public disclosure!
Edgeworth, stop using words I don't know what they mean.
You're missing the point, Edgeworth.
Miss Andrews?
I can see why you're pros at what you do.
Pardon me?
Yes, just as you say, the press conference was set up by Juan.
Miss Andrews, please offer us an explanation for this.
I was the one he asked to help set it up. And the person who prepared the second costume for him, that was also me.
You!
Juan had bet everything on the Jammin' Ninja this year. And if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought anyway.
He was going to ruin him, huh?
It looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed.
What?
And do you know what this secret of Mr. On Guard's is, Miss Andrews?
That's something only Juan knew. I don't know what it is.
Ah, I see.
I've probably been coming off quite suspicious to everyone. But that's to be expected. I've been trying to protect Matt, after all.
Protect Mr. On Guard?
And yet again, another strange bit of truth comes to light, it seems. Miss Andrews, if you could, please tell us the truth about your behavior.
Yes, Your Honor. I understand. From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Matt had to kill Juan no matter what. And he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course, the button and the knife. But I'm Matt's manager, so I felt that I had to protect him.
This does account for everything.
Well, I am the logical type. We're finally seeing her true self. She's more nervous than a scared rabbit.
Huh?
If the defense can find no fault with this testimony, I am ready to make a ruling. Please keep that in mind as you cross-examine Mr. Wright. My nose is itchy.
Looks like somehow everything has swung to the opposite end of the scale again. That just means I have to put my weight into this and turn her logic upside down.
Why'd you put the costume on, though?
That's a good question. Whew.
If you're not being a criminal.
You know, I was like, oh, this day, it's only gonna be like 2 hours. It's gotta only be like 2 hours.
What about, like, maybe 3?
It was wishful thinking, and you know, then we have the investigation fucking after this too. I'm just so. I'm I wasn't ready.
We could end the stream after this part and then have like a 30-minute break after.
I'm gonna need maybe more than that. 30. Oh, we'll try 30 minutes.
And then have a second stream.
Well,
for
yeah,
that
that's
second
what we
part.
did. That's what we usually do, I think.
That's what we do when it's long enough. When it's
Yeah.
short, we just do it at the same stream. But
Okay.
from the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer.
Well, when it's a full, like, investigation section after a trial, we usually have a break.
But if the trial is like short enough and the
Oh,
investigation
okay.
is short enough,
Alright.
I've done it before. We've done it before. Where
Okay.
it's different.
I
We
don't
don't
remember
usually
that.
do this. Well, how did you fucking kill him? You didn't have an alibi. And how did you do that?
Well, what you really did was stab the guy in the back, didn't you? And at the worst possible time.
Who's to say she really stabbed the guy in the back, as you put it?
This witness could have disclosed things about Mr. Engard at any time.
Hey, I said you could have one piece of apple.
Why then would she wait until there was a large audience before doing so? It's the same reason why Mr. Kurita planned such an elaborate conference.
Miss Andrews wanted to cause Mr. Engard as much damage as he possibly could. This
witness bears ill will towards the defendant.
This isn't the Phoenix Wright wax philosophical power hour.
What?
And please stop slandering the witness. As I expected, Miss Andrews' testimony seems pretty solid.
That's what I said.
Oh, really?
Really? Because to me it sounded a little wishy-washy.
Wishy-washy?
You should know this by now. But you'll need a strong, decisive evidence to make her talk. Go on, Mia, you can do it.
You like hit me at like a spot in my back where there's some kind of reflex in my back. I'm like, oh. I got it, Chief. I'm going to pin you down this time, Miss Andrews. From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. But I don't think we have that.
So would you say this need came from the press conference?
Oops. Yes. Do you know why Juan chose that event in that hotel for the conference? Because that was when he could cause the most damage to the public's beloved Matt Engard. And you knew of this plan, didn't you, Miss Andrews? Yes, because I was the one who set up the conference and prepared the costume.
But I'm sure Mr. Engard himself didn't know anything about the press conference.
Oh, really? Can you show me any proof that he didn't know about the press conference?
Anyway, the important thing here is that this information was not in your testimony.
Yes, I agree. Miss Andrews, please correct your testimony, if you please. Grasping at straws now, are we, Mr. Wright?
No.
I know what his motive was, but I don't have any way to prove I'm right.
What was it, though? Has Mr. Engard done something to hurt or betray you personally?
Why do you ask?
You were the one who helped Mr. Kurita with his press conference. And that event was supposed to bring down Mr. Engard, yet you still helped out.
The person on trial right now is Mr. Engard, right? What the witness was thinking, helping the victim with his plan, is none of our concern. In any case, this means the defendant had a motive to kill.
Why do I keep doing this to myself?
Delicious cheese.
Delicious cheese.
Edgeworth loves cheese.
Yes.
This is a classic Edgeworth trait. And he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. Huh. Well, I guess we should go.
Okay, wait, so what's...
You want to look at the evidence?
No, I want to look at the testimony, because I haven't been paying attention again. The moment I saw the crime scene, I knew Matt was the murderer. Didn't have an alibi. I'm gonna press this. You can hardly call the knife decisive evidence.
God damn it, I keep pressing the wrong button.
The fingerprints on the knife could very well be a clever camouflage.
Then, what about the button?
The button?
It's clear from the crime scene that the victim and his murderer fought. And during the fight, the killer ripped the button from the Jam and Ninja's costume. You're talking about this button, correct? That button was found in the pleats of Matt's hakama. Isn't that correct? I would think that makes it very decisive evidence.
Ugh.
Looks like you are outfoxed again, Mr. Wright.
I don't know what. I was gonna make fox noises.
Anyway, the knife doesn't prove a thing. Please fix your testimony.
I can't stand the sight of a man who can't gracefully accept his defeat.
Thank goodness Mia can still look at me.
With an icy stare, yes.
I'm not doing anything wrong!
Fuck you.
Miss Andrews, for Mr. Wright's sake, please add this information to your testimony.
Yeah, I'm tired. Can you do the rest of the case?
No. That button was torn off of Juan during his fight with Matt.
My neck hurts.
This is new. This is about the button. It was torn off during his fight with Matt.
And how do you know that?
When the ends of the threads on the button and the costume were matched up, they were found to fit together perfectly. Or so I heard.
I've heard that before too. But why would Miss Andrews know about this case down to such a fine detail?
Don't look at me like that. Just because I'm prepared and you're not.
And I thought I had her this time for sure. If there's anything to trip her up on, it has to be here. But where and what? So, okay, go back to that then.
It's torn off of Juan during his fight with Matt.
Well, look at your evidence.
But that would have been before he died, and there's blood on the button.
Yeah.
So do we just present the button then?
The autopsy, maybe.
I'm gonna say.
I was like, you were on the evidence. Why did you go back to
The autopsy you want?
the...
Strangled with a scarf, then stabbed with a knife.
Yeah.
But I feel like you need both of these.
Well,
together.
I think we're talking about the button, so it's probably the autopsy.
Alright.
This is the victim's autopsy report. It clearly states that the cause of death was strangulation by a scarf.
Strangulation?
By a scarf. The knife stab to the victim was done after the victim had already died.
And what does that mean?
Let's examine the evidence. This button has the victim's blood on it, which would mean that it was ripped off the costume. When?
After the knife was stabbed into the victim.
Oh, exactly. Which means...
You don't need to...
Which means it is impossible that this button was torn off during the victim's final struggle.
Yeah, sure.
Because the victim was strangled to death in that fight. That's right, Miss Andrews. Edgeworth. There's no way this button was ripped off during the struggle. This button was consciously pulled off of the victim's already dead bodies.
So wild.
Order! What is the meaning?
What is the meaning of this right? So what if the button was torn off the body after the victim had already died? What does that change?
Let me ask you one simple question, Mr. Edgeworth. It should be easy. Why was the button torn off? What purpose did that serve?
What purpose?
We now know that this button was not torn off during the fight. So the murderer took the time and effort to purposefully rip this from the victim's body. That would mean that the murderer had something in mind, wouldn't it?
Mr. Wright, does this mean you know what the murderer wanted to do with this button? What was it?
To pin the crime on guard!
So loud.
There's only one logical reason for doing
It's
something
louder
like
than
that.
you normally are.
Yeah. I know it's not that loud because I'm next to you all the time. Was to pin the crime on Mr. On Guard. There is no way anyone would put a bloody button in their own pants. That's right. Mr. On Guard was set up by the real killer, of course. I keep yelling.
And the real murderer is... The real murder is... Well, Mr. Wright, who in the world is the real killer then?
Finally. I can't believe I managed to bring this trial all the way up to this point.
Phoenix, you can't let your guard down yet. Not until the very end.
The real killer, the person who planned to frame Mr. On Guard, is...
Adrian Andrews.
Miss Adrian Andrews. I choose you! You are Mr. Carita's killer.
What?
I double indict you of doing the crime.
Order! Mr. Wright! This is a very grave matter. Do you have any evidence to support your charge?
Any evidence? Come on!
I indict you.
All of the evidence points to Miss Andrews. Brennan, come here.
Yeah. Why you sad?
I didn't give him any cheese, so he's sad.
Princess is curled up in a little ball. She likes to curl up and put her little arm around her leg.
She grabs her leg and then puts her little knee
oh my God.
How preposterous! You can't stick any of that on me.
I can't, can I? Would you care to test me?
Then what about this knife?
The knife was used to stab the victim after he had already been strangled to death. It was used to throw suspicion onto Mr. On Guard, naturally. A knife covered in the defendant's fingerprints could only have been taken from his room.
I feel like we could have started with, if he died by strangulation, why was he also stabbed?
And the only one who had dinner with him and knew which knife to take was you.
Then what about the button that was found in Matt's hakama?
This button was removed from the victim's body after he had already died. The only people who could have done so were the person who found his body or the killer. However, if Mr. On Guard was the real killer, there is no way he would have put such incriminating evidence in his own hakama.
Ah!
The only person who could have put this button into Mr. On Guard's hakama is the person who went to wake him from his nap, which is you yet again, Miss Andrews.
I see. What about the empty guitar case?
That is also another piece of evidence that incriminates Miss Andrews. That costume was used to hide the real killer's identity as they fled the crime scene. Now, who could have known that there was just such a costume inside the guitar case? It could only have been the person who prepared the costume for the victim. And that person is you, Miss Adrian Andrews!
Oh! But Miss Andrews' fingerprints were nowhere to be found on the guitar case. And it was you who proved that she was not wearing gloves at the time.
That's right.
That's because she did not intend on leaving any prints. If anyone had found out that she had touched the case, they would have asked her why. So to avoid leaving any prints, she used a towel or something else to open it. But the glass of tomato juice is a different story. Miss Andrews purposely left her fingerprints on the glass to show that yes, indeed, she was the classic dazed discoverer of a dead body.
Ah!
And to top it all off, there is this photo. A photo of the killer as they exited the scene of the crime. No reasonable person on Earth could believe that this nickel samurai is Mr. On Guard. He would be much too short for his own costume if it was him. Speaking of how tall people are, Miss Andrews, You're also kind of short in stature, aren't you not?
Please, stop.
Well, how about it, Miss Andrews? Got her this time.
Miss Andrews? I refuse to testify.
What was that?
There's a law. It says I can't be forced to testify about something if it can incriminate me. Well, yes, you are absolutely correct, Miss Andrews. The law does provide us with a way to avoid self-incrimination by allowing a witness to not testify if the testimony can cause damage to themselves.
What? Aww. Pleading the fifth is not something most people would think to do on the spot. Actually, thinking back to yesterday in Mr. Engard's room...
Adrian Andrews. Yes? Think hard about what we just discussed. Understood? All right. I got my card.
That's it. That's when Francisca planted this idea into her head. She must have told Miss Andrews to not testify if things looked bad.
You did a good job proving everything up to this point, Phoenix. But there is still one thing you haven't done.
Something I haven't done?
2 more hours of testimony and investigation.
Mia!
What's wrong, right? Are you finished already? Run out of evidence?
I ran out of water in my mouth.
What is so humorous, Mr. Edgeworth?
I'm sure you realize this as well, Your Honor. But everything the good lawyer here has proven up to this point is meaningless.
What?
Everything you have proven is circumstantial.
Circumstantial?
Yes, circumstantial. You have yet to provide a single piece of definitive proof. Proof that Miss Andrews did in fact harbor a wish to murder Mr. Corrida.
Alright, you know what to do.
Miss Andrews, did you want to kill Mr. Corrida?
I believe this may lead to me incriminating myself, so I will abstain from answering.
But Miss Andrews, if you do that, it would be the same as admitting your guilt, don't you think?
Maybe so, or maybe not. There is nothing to prove it either way. Besides, you don't even know what crime I would be guilty of due to my silence. No! She's taking that defiant attitude again. Mia, what should we do? Somehow, we've landed in the worst possible situation.
I think we have reached a certain conclusion at this point in time. Miss Adrian Andrews has refused to testify, and the defense's theory that she is the actual murderer has not been fully substantiated with solid, definitive proof.
But that's not true!
In this situation, there is only one thing this court can do, and that is to declare a recess.
A recess?
I request that both the prosecution and the defense look further into this matter. And at tomorrow's trial...
Tomorrow? We don't have a tomorrow. If we don't get a not guilty verdict today, then... Please wait, Your Honor. That's not necessary. The trial... Please continue the trial!
What are you sweating for? Your client is getting one more day to live, isn't he?
That's not it. This isn't about that. Edgeworth, I know you know who the real killer is. Please, let the trial continue. If I don't get the verdict, then Maya...
But it's impossible to continue as long as the witness refuses to testify. Now then, this court is...
It is not impossible for this trial to continue.
Edgeworth?
I have to let the dog back in. He's a good boy, see?
No.
He's a good boy. Come up. Come up. kind of silly.
Mr. Edgeworth, what are you...
It's true Miss Andrews holds the right against self-incrimination. However, if the topic of conversation were something unrelated to whatever she may be guilty of, then she has no right to withhold testimony.
Yes?
That's mine! That's mine! No! Fuck you!
Yes, that is very true, but...
Actually, there is one little thing that I'm curious about. Miss Andrews, when you found the victim's dead body, you poured yourself a glass of juice. Yes,
Sorry.
and I can't help but think how unnatural that is. Usually when one finds a body, they are shaken up, not stirring a glass of juice. So my actions were unusual, but I've already... Before you speak, I want to state that if you have a reason behind your actions, I would like you to testify to that effect. Testify? Your Honor, I would like to request the witness testify again as to what happened when she first discovered the victim's body. Whatever we find out in this testimony should in no way implicate the witness. I don't know what it is about Edgeworth today, but I can't get a good read off him. Is he friend or foe? I just don't know. So here we go. The rest of the trial, oh.
The court acknowledges the prosecution's request. Miss Andrews, if you please. Where did the dog go? He's under your chair.
Oh, is he just sitting
Are you
under?
gonna throw up or what's going on?
No, he does that sometimes. He just sits.
What are you what are you doing?
When I found the body, that glass of juice, I didn't really pour it for myself. I was surprised when I walked into the room and saw it in that messy state. And Juan, he was sitting slumped over and tired looking in the corner. When I saw him sitting like that, the thought that he was dead didn't cross my mind. To be honest, I thought he had just fainted or something, so I went to pour him some juice. When I realized that he was dead, that's when I knocked the flower vase over.
So you poured that glass of juice for the victim. Why didn't you say so in your earlier testimony?
I didn't think I needed to include something so trivial. Phoenix, please be careful here. If you can't find anything wrong with this testimony, then there's nothing left.
I know.
But I also know exactly what's wrong with the testimony.
Yep. Edgeworth, what the heck is going on in that brain of yours?
Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
Batman, come back. Come here. Yeah, come sit on the bed.
I didn't know he was dead, even though there was a little tiny knife sticking out of his chest.
Yep, that's it. That's the knife. So you honestly didn't think he was dead when you found him?
No, not at all.
Even though this is what you saw when you discovered the body? Batman! Come on.
Sorry, baby.
What is the meaning of this?
Ow! I wanted you to lick my hand, not scratch it. Do you want to come on my hand?
Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? There is a knife sticking straight out of Mr. Carita's chest.
Anyone who saw this scene would have immediately thought that here was a dead man.
That's... Well, you see...
I doubt a single person in the world would make this mistake for someone... would mistake this for someone who fainted. And then so nonchalantly go pour something to drink.
Your point is?
Miss Andrews, your testimony just now, it was all one giant lie. And your lie has been proven one thing very clearly. That you are the real killer.
No! It looks like the defense has somehow brought the ugly truth to light. The defendant, Mr. Mad on Guard, is not guilty after all.
Yes.
But that's impossible. You're wrong. Miss Andrews, try to have some composure. It wasn't me. It wasn't me, I tell you. It was Matt. I swear it. He's the one who killed Juan.
But you were the one who refused to testify. And your reason for not doing so was that you might end up incriminating yourself.
That's because... Miss Andrews, I will give you one last chance. What exactly are you hiding that may incriminate you? I refuse to testify.
There is no point in doing that now.
Then there is no need for this court to continue any further. Mr. Mad on Guard's innocence has been clearly demonstrated.
Is it over? Have we found the truth at last? What's wrong, Phoenix?
Usually the real killer confesses their guilt. And now that I think about it, this is the first time someone hasn't. Batman!
Now then, I would like to hand down my verdict for Mr. Mad on Guard.
Maybe the whole time we just had to ask them if they were the killer or not.
Your Honor, the prosecution feels that it would be premature to pass down a verdict at this time.
What?
The reason is quite simple. This witness has yet to speak the absolute real truth. And I'm gonna fucking get her. You fucking speak, or you get out. You can't get out of my courtroom until you speak, because I need to know what's going on. I need to know everything.
This is not your courtroom.
I need to be in control of every situation.
What are you talking about?
Witness, don't you understand yet? Huh? I don't know who planted this silly idea in your head, but as long as you protect yourself through your silence, Matt on Guard will go free, and in his place, you will become the guilty party. That's a lie. I don't believe you. What? I was told if I spoke, then it would be all over, and Matt would never be declared guilty.
What in the world is she talking about? She lost it?
I can't speak about it. I'm too scared. It's Franziska von Karma.
It's Adrian Andrews.
Get out of my room. I'm not letting you back in.
Huh?
Don't you remember, Phoenix?
No.
Miss Andrews lives by gripping tightly onto the words of another. Because she doesn't have the strength to believe in herself.
Okay. Then, right now, I need to make her believe in herself.
Yesterday, she was tossed a lifesaver by Miss Von Karma.
I
Don't
would
say a
love
word,
one
no
right
matter
now.
what happens. If you do, Matt on Guard will be acquitted.
That sounds delicious. I want one.
What are you talking
A
about?
lifesaver.
Oh.
Like the flavored ones.
Miss Andrews undyingly believes in those words right now and is clinging on to them.
The fruit ones. They're like Jolly Ranchers, but they don't get stuck in your teeth as much.
Jolly Ranchers taste better, though.
Then what should we do? This is the first time I've ever come across anything like this. But Miss Andrews has to be the killer, right? All we have to do now is get her not guilty. That's my only priority.
It wasn't me. I'm begging you, please believe me. I didn't kill Juan. Help. Please. Someone help me.
Mr. Wright,
Yes, Your Honor?
the court can't continue on like this. Therefore, I'd like to hear what you intend to do.
What I intend to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say?
Right? I suggest you think very carefully about this. Think about what this witness did and what she did not do. and think about who the real mastermind behind this crime is.
Who's the real mastermind? Isn't that obvious? There's no one else it could be except the woman crying over there, right?
Come now. What will you do? What kind of man are you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? We gotta make her
Yeah. We gotta make this go on longer. I have to win a complete acquittal today. There's no way around that. But I can't bring myself to do it like this. Not when she's making a face
She
like
looks
that.
like a little rat. With her little rat tooth.
No. Miss Andrews, I would really like to know what you're really hiding.
Mr. Wright, are you sure you know what you're doing?
Sure, Mr. Angard would get an acquittal, but in his place, you would be found guilty. Is this how you really want this trial to end?
Be quiet. How dare you? You're trying to trick me. That's enough. I commend you for trying, Mr. Edgeworth. However, it's clear that the defense's theory is the truth. You're wrong.
Sorry, she flicked her little ear. That was cute.
What a shame. Content warning, Edgeworth's a really bad guy here. He's gonna say something really horrible. I had hoped things wouldn't come to this, however.
What is it, Mr. Edgeworth?
Miss Andrews, since you absolutely refuse to testify, it falls on my shoulders to disclose this to the court.
Stop.
But Mr. Edgeworth...
This witness, how should I put this? She has an illness.
What?
And because of this illness, she has tried to commit suicide in the past.
Stop! Please, stop!
No matter how much you want to hide it, it's no use. I have the evidence right here.
That's...
That's the second part of the suicide report. The attempted suicide report.
What will you do now, witness? You know what I am about to do, don't you? I will now reveal to the court the true nature of the pitiful woman known as Adrian Andrews.
The secret of her dependent nature. Having other people know about it scares her more than anything else in the world.
Please stop! I beg you. If people find out, I'll...
If you're going to say you would choose death, that is of no concern to me.
Edgeworth, how can he be so... cold isn't the right word, I think.
However, before you die, I will pull the truth from your still breathing lips. No matter what I have to do. So, will you tell the court yourself, or shall I? Either is fine with me.
I'll talk. But please, help me. Nothing matters anymore. When I first saw him, I really thought he had fainted. Honest. When I realized he was dead, that was when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's room. And then I stabbed Juan's dead body with the knife and ripped off the button. Just when I finished and I was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. And that's why I ended up using the Nickel Samurai costume. Stabbed the body with the knife? But why would you do that? Isn't it obvious? To pin the blame on a certain person. A certain cowardly man. What do you mean by all of this?
It might take this court a little while to understand, but this is the truth.
The real killer is Matt. That scumbag of a man. I'll never forgive him. He's trying to escape his guilt again, just like last time.
Last time?
So, Miss Andrews stabbed the victim, Juan Carita, in the chest with the knife. However, she didn't do it with murder in mind. She did it with the intent of framing Matt on guard for the murder. And this is her crime.
What? How is this possible? I mean, wasn't Miss Andrews supposed to be the real murderer?
Mr. Wright, please get over your shock and commence the cross-examination. When I first saw him, I really thought he had fainted. Okay, I don't need to read this again. You realize he was dead. It's when you stabbed him with a knife and ripped a button. I hadn't been to an inconvenience. I'm just gonna press.
No. What's the inconvenience?
Okay.
An inconvenience?
There was a woman with a camera at the ready, loitering in the hallway.
I'm willing to bet my spikes it was Lotta.
There was also a woman with a ray gun at the ready, pacing back and forth.
That's Miss Oldbag for you.
I had already been caught and made into a big scoop for a certain weekly tabloid once. So I couldn't very well go out looking like myself and get caught again. And that's why I ended up using the Nickel Samurai costume. I don't... What? You formulated your plan?
What is this plan you had?
I knew right away the murderer was Matt. I knew because Juan, he was going to expose Matt's weakest weak point. His weakest weak point to the world. So Matt did this to stop Juan and silence him for good. That's when I thought I should forge some evidence and pin this crime on Matt. So the forged pieces of evidence were the knife and the button. The first thing that came to mind was to plant the knife. Once I made sure there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's room. You ripped off the button. You used the Nickel Samurai costume.
Yeah, maybe you should press everything.
Yeah. Oops. I don't want to concede, but this testimony, it rings of the truth. I'm sorry, Phoenix.
No, please, don't apologize to me. We were both taken by surprise.
Still, I'm sorry.
But you could tell from the state the room was in that there must have been a fight. Are you telling the truth when you say you didn't know he was dead?
He had a scarf tied around his neck. But that scarf is a part of the Jammin' Ninja's costume, so... I didn't think anything about it was strange. His head was also tilted down a bit, so I couldn't see his face that well. That's why I thought I'd wake him up, and went to pour the juice. When I realized he was dead, that's when I formulated my plan.
We already pressed
Oh, oops, sorry. Oh, you forged the evidence.
It's alright. That was so you could get the knife, correct?
The knife Matt used at dinner had his fingerprints all over it. I thought if I used that, then the police would certainly turn their eyes towards him. Matt was napping with his costume on at the time.
Oh, she looks so cute in that picture.
I slipped in, took the knife, and returned to the scene of the crime. And then I stabbed Juan's dead body with the knife and ripped off the button.
Mm-hmm. So you were the one to stab the victim with that knife?
It gives me goosebumps to think about it now. What a horrible thing I did. But at the time, I couldn't control my own body. It moved on its own. Then,
When I stabbed Juan's dead body, I suddenly realized something. If I used the button somehow, I could make Matt look even more suspect. So you thought to rip one of the buttons off and then plant it in Mr. On Guard's hakama? Yes, that's what I had planned to do. But things never go that smoothly, do they? Just when I finished and was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. And that's why I ended up using the nickel samurai costume.
You were the one who prepared that costume, weren't you?
Yes, I took it from Global Studios. I also put it into Juan's guitar case the day before the award ceremony. You did this in preparation for the press conference, correct? Yes, Juan wanted to wear that costume and hold a press conference in it. He was going to disclose Matt's big secret there.
And what is this secret?
That, I don't know. Anyway, I thought that if I were to leave Juan's room in the nickel samurai costume, then people would think that Matt was the real murderer. I was very careful not to leave any fingerprints when I opened the guitar case. I absolutely did not want anyone to know about the costume.
I think we've heard enough. So after that, you went back to Mr. On Guard's room and planted the button?
Into Matt's hakama? Yes. After that, I folded up the costume I was wearing and put it into a bag. Then I snuck it out of the hotel and got rid of it.
My word! What does all this mean?
I told you, you're not allowed back in. Mr. Edgeworth, is it? The real criminal is Matt On Guard. Yesterday, that woman prosecutor sat me down for a talk.
Francisca, huh?
She said that I should, under no circumstances, confess to what I had done. That if I just kept quiet, then Matt would be found guilty for sure. I had no choice but to believe in her words. Batman.
What this witness has done is clearly unlawful. However, as long as her testimony stands, we can be certain she's not the real killer.
What?
Wait, Your Honor. The defense still...
Right. It's pointless. At this point in time, it is not possible to indict Miss Andrews on anything.
Yes, exactly. There isn't a single piece of evidence that points to her as the murderer. The cross-examination of this witness is over, and so is today's trial. You couldn't establish that the witness was the culprit. Please let it go, Mr. Wright.
But...
Mr. Edgeworth, please place Miss Andrews under arrest for further questioning.
Understood, Your Honor. The prosecution will arrange for her detention immediately.
That is all. Court is adjourned for today.
Today's trial. It's over. And I didn't win an acquittal.
Witness, would you mind if I asked you something?
Edgeworth?
What is it? Before you leave court today, I wondered if I might look at one thing. The card in your hand. It's had my interest for quite some time now. What exactly is it? Oh, this? Mr. Wright also asked about this. Although I didn't remember at the time you asked me about it, Mr. Wright. I remembered just now. I found this in the room on that day.
The room?
That day? Yes. I found this card when I discovered Juan's body. It was lying there right next to him.
You found that card next to the victim's body?
I suppose I must have unconsciously slipped it into my pocket. But it's not as if this card has any relevance to Juan's murder, right?
Yeah, I guess not, but it's still a strange card if you ask me. But as far as a clue to this case, I don't see why...
Hold it! Witness that card! Give it to me! Hurry!
Edgeworth?
Do you have any idea what you have stupidly yet inadvertently done? This... I can't believe you hid this from me all this time. I didn't mean to. What is this all about?
I've never seen Edgeworth so emotional before. Is he on his period? That card. What in the world is it? And what does it mean?
While I was on vacation, I thought I'd try having periods. So,
What do you mean you thought you'd try?
It's just something I'd never really done before. So I, I just was like, why not,
Okay, big break, please.
I forgot we've got a whole other fucking...
You forgot?
I thought we were almost over.
No.
I guess... yeah, big break, that's what you were saying.
Yes.
Well... Alright! We'll be back in... What do we want?
At least 30 minutes.
You want to make it 45? Give you a little bit more time?
Hey, sure.
Alright, we'll be back in at 6:45, I guess. So, well, bye-bye. We'll be back with the next part of that case. I gotta pull up my stream. Bye. We'll see you on the way.